Education system in Scotland, Part 1. Early years, primary school, secondary school. Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing well. So today we're going to talk about a topic that I know many of you are interested in because we've spoken about it at the university or in the online tutorial sessions over Skype. So it's the education system in Scotland. So this is just part 1 of the video where we're going to focus on early years, which is preschool, then primary school and secondary school. But first let's have a little quick look at what the whole Scottish education. There are 5 phases in the education system in Scotland. First is early years, which is nursery or preschool, then primary school and secondary school. And then we have further education, which consists of college, but we'll discuss in the next video, and then higher education, which is university. But as I said today, in part 1 of the video, we'll focus on the first 3. There's a special curriculum in the Scottish education system, which is called the Scottish Curriculum for Excellence, which actually begins in the nursery years and goes on until secondary school. So let's have a little look at what exactly that is. This curriculum was introduced in order to prepare pupils for life in the 21st century with the knowledge, skills and attributes needed. As already mentioned, this curriculum begins at nursery and continues all the way to secondary school. The Curriculum for Excellence has 4 fundamental capacities at its centre. 1. Successful learners. 2. Confident individuals. 3. Responsible citizens. And 4. Effective contributors. So how exactly does nursery work in Scotland? Children can enter public nurseries from the age of 3, however private nurseries will accept children at a much younger age. Currently, the Scottish Government provides 16 free hours of childcare and early learning. However, new legislation this year means that is due to increase. Now let's talk about primary school education. So just some general facts about primary schools in Scotland is that primary schools are open usually from Monday to Friday from 9 AM to 3 PM. The school academic year begins in August and finishes in June. There are 7 years in primary, and this goes from primary 1 to primary 7. The general focus at primary level is on numeracy, literacy, health and well-being, and physical education. And then there are interdisciplinary skills such as science, art, music and languages. And of course, if it's a religious school, there's a big focus on religious and moral education. Okay, so that was just some general information about primary schools. Now I'd like to discuss a few other things in more detail. So one important aspect is that in Scotland, school uniforms are compulsory in all schools. What does a uniform consist of? It can vary from school to school, but normally it consists of trousers or a skirt, a school shirt, or it could be a polo shirt, and a tie. Some schools may have a special jumper or blazer as well. So I talked to you about the timetables of the school. So as you can see, it's quite short. There's 6 hours from 9 to 3. Lunchtime in Scotland, lunch is not our main meal like here in Colombia. It's dinner for us. So we just have a short lunch, and in primary schools, I think it's usually 45 minutes. So usually the kids can take in their packed lunch or eat in the school cafeteria. Something interesting about Scotland is that kids who come from low income backgrounds receive free school meals at school. And finally, let's talk about secondary school. One usually begins secondary school when they're around 12 years old, and the first 4 years are compulsory. After that, students can choose to leave in order to enter the world of work or go on to college, which we'll talk about more in part 2 of the video. After that, in the last 2 years, students sit official exams by the SQA in order to prepare to get into further or higher education. And also in secondary school, when you're in S4, there are career advisors in order to give advice if you want to go to college, university, get apprenticeships, or simply just find a job. So this is some general information about secondary school. Of course, in secondary school, students have many more options of the subjects that they study. And then the official qualifications that we take in order to get into university are called Scottish Highers. So this is, of course, all information related to the public school system. Now quickly, I'm just going to talk a little bit about private schools in Scotland. So all of the information that I gave related to the Scottish education system may not apply to private or independent schools. This is because private schools have control over their own curriculum, and in terms of the exams, they often tend to follow the English system or even the European. In Scotland, around 4% of students are privately educated, and in boarding schools, 35% of those students come from abroad. Okay guys, so that's part 1. In part 2, we're going to continue with college, further education, higher education, university. Okay, see you soon. Bye.